here. So I'm taking a look at these near-Earth asteroids because Dabu 7 mentioned this one on Halloween. Things I want to tell you. I'm trying to bring you the Decode of Tomorrowland movie. I just watched that, and I don't want to return it yet, so I'm paying an overdue fine, like trying to hold on to it. And then I'm getting distracted by so many other things. So I just had to make a quick video about this. This is the October 31st near-Earth object. But I wanted to show you this article. First of all, I'll show you this page that we're on. I have to scroll way up. Spaceweather.com. Okay, so this is a good page to have in your toolbox or your news folder. I want to show you here at the top we have potentially hazardous asteroids, and so the acronym of this is PHA. This is an 1681. So, yeah, everyone raises their hand at once. Ooh, I know what that is. Okay, so that's Phi. 16, 8, and 1, and this is also the 816 number we've been talking about, the 618 number. So this is one of the permutations of the code. I don't think they just only meant asteroids. I think that they created this to match Phi, as in destiny. So this would be an example. You know, if I want to try to start tying in my decode of Tomorrowland, I've talked in some of my videos about the thought tube, where they control your collapsing of the quantum wave. Our thought tube is so complete that many people don't realize we're in a thought tube. There's virtually no original thought possible. And that causes, basically, our ability to collapse the quantum wave is based on our thought, our beliefs, and our creativity, which most of the creativity is drummed out of us. Well, that way they can harness all of our ability to collapse the quantum wave. They can use us as an engine to drive reality. And that was kind of the idea in Tomorrowland, where the girl figures out that I forget what they call it. I think they call it the Matrix. Instead of informing people about the danger of apocalypse or the end of the world type of thing, instead of just informing, that it's actually driving the apocalypse by quantum collapse, by causing people to believe in the end of the world. They were creating the end of the world. That's the whole premise of the movie. I haven't seen a lot of decode on this movie. The decode that I have seen was very limited and basically said it's demonic, look away. I don't think it's demonic. I think there are Nazi 88 and SS codes in there, but the Nazis I'm not going to defend them, of course, but when Truman was approached by aliens, star people, and he was approached with the gift of free energy if he would just lay down his nukes. Gosh, I think it was Truman. He said, "No, I'll take the nukes." Well, the Nazis said, "Oh, hey, free energy. Yeah, you can have. We won't. We promised not to involve ourselves in any nukes." And then they took the free energy, and now I really believe they actually have an advanced base in Antarctica, or maybe some other hidden place in the world, or both. It wouldn't be very hard to hide islands in the world, because GPS is run by the Defense Agency, and basically it's all computer driven. Nobody can find anything without a computer, and so that makes it much easier to hide places, because everybody's just going around by computer, and also nobody understands how the map really works. Well, so what I want to say is, okay, we can demonize the Nazis all we want, however, and they might have done really bad things, maybe, but there's a bunch of movies about, Nazis trying to kill Hitler from within, right? So we cannot broad brush the Nazis. We can't broad brush them. I don't think that Hitler died. I think that his double died, and that all the important people went on to live a happy life in South America, the north part of South America. And if you look around in your prominent society now, if you look around, you are going to see Swiss-educated people at the top echelons of your society, of your city, who are Swiss educated, but they came from the top part of South America. Well, guess what their heritage is? All right. Well, anyway, that doesn't mean that they are, that they should all be in prison or they're all bad. It's hard to know who's at fault and who's not at fault when you have this kind of government propaganda movement. So anyway, all I'm saying is let's investigate the clues and not broad brush the issue, because when you broad brush the issue, you're missing out on tons of clues. Well, anyway, how did I get to Nazis from here? Well, anyway, in Phi, let me just go back to Phi here. Oh, I know, JPL. Okay, so then the Nazis came over to NASA, and they basically, founded NASA, JPL, and all that. Let me just go back here to this code. So we have Phi here, and then here again. Look at this. This is an 629. This is an anagram of 269, which is FBI, and it's also the heading on which ISIS sits in Washington D.C., pointing from the Capitol building to the Lincoln Memorial again and again and again. But as we know, because the 169th day is June 18th, which is a 6/18, we know that whenever we see this Phi, this 6 and the 9, that it is basically, the 9 is reflexive. It fluidly moves from a 1/8 back to a 9. It's basically, every time you see it in this combination, you just stick the 1/8 in there, because they tell you in the code of the calendar that that's how this is decoded. So just kind of make your mind flexible on that. So this is another Phi right here. But not only is this another Phi, is it shows you the Phi in its unsquared form, and it shows you Phi in its squared form, because when you square it, then the whole number becomes a 2, but all the other next 8 to 9 digits remain the same. And that's one of the special things about Phi. I did a whole video on this, Phi squared, and I left my very first video, I made a mistake because I used the wrong Phi to begin with, but still, even with that mistake, and I think now I at the time I was reading the Scott Onscott book, because I was just reading it again, and it has the Phi that I used in the Scott Onscott book. So now I know where I got that number from. It was from the Scott Onscott book. Well, the second Phi squared video that I put out, where I correct that and then I use the Wikipedia version, it's the same. The letters are not perfectly the same. I mean, the numbers are not perfectly the same as the Scott Onscott version of Phi. But if you use the Scott Onscott version of Phi and you square that, there are many more curious numbers in that square. But if you use the correct Phi, you find out that the first 8 to 9, I think it's 8 or 9. I wish I need to check again. Every time I check, I try to remember, and then I just forget again. But anyway, the first 8 to 9 digits are the same. So here we see this again. So if some decoders would say, just because there's code in here, this means the whole thing is fake, I also do believe that they are not telling us the truth about our heliocentric, the heliocentric globular model is probably not true. All of the dimensions to the moon, you can basically verify for yourself that the distance to the moon is completely wrong. You can work that out with binoculars and some paper and some pen to see that that's impossible, that they say it's that far away. And so I've also done some experiments with shadows and the sun to see that that distance is also radically wrong. So I tell you about asteroids from a place of not understanding how an asteroid could actually exist. Unless, the book that I was reading recently about the firmament, in the book The Key, they talk about the firmament, but they talk about it being farther out. Could be at the edge of our solar system, so to speak. So we need to be flexible about that, because we frankly do not know. We are sitting here with a bunch of puzzle pieces. We have, like, I don't know, maybe hundreds of puzzles, and some of the puzzle pieces and some of the puzzles are missing, and that's basically what we're working with here. So we cannot say that we really know anything. We can just say, this matches this, maybe that's a clue. Let's put these puzzle pieces together. So you guys are kind of here with me putting puzzle pieces together. And I appreciate your comments, and I appreciate your hints, and I appreciate, just having our little community where we try to discover things together. Well, I do want to decode Halloween for you. Last year at this time I was uncovering these the holidays, and it was my intention to tear that apart for you, and I don't know if I'm going to get to it. I really have to do Tomorrowland. I feel like that's more important because the hijacking of the collapse of our quantum wave, of our quantum collapsing ability, which is encoded in the number 52, the opposite of 25. It's encoded in that. That is the most kind of dangerous phenomenon that's happening right now. And so anything that you look at, especially this conditioning of NASA saying, oh my gosh, there's another asteroid that we didn't know. We only found it 10 days ago. How could that possibly be? So there's a few ways that it could possibly be. It's coming straight through in the line of sight of another more stable astral body. It's coming straight through the sun, something like that. Or it's a movement, a disturbance of the Kepler belt in which you will not have very much notice. You just won't. And so that's a very rational explanation for why we're having so many unknown near misses here of something that they either didn't know, or they've changed the names of so many of these things. It's really havoc. So part of the conditioning here is anything. Here's the take-home message that you can maybe agree that this is the propaganda. Anything all of our best technology is nothing. We basically don't know what is heading towards us at any time. So, happily go about your day now that you know that. That's one of the propagandas, and I think that might actually be true. However, they do want you to just live in fear, because then you will just keep putting one foot in front of the other and you won't actually make any big plans. So we want to look at the propaganda here while we investigate what's in the propaganda. So this may or may not be true. Who knows? I really don't trust NASA at all. I actually do think there is a secret space program, but I think that they are not going to tell us anything that they know, and whatever they tell us is they just tell us so they can laugh at us. Anyway, I'm feeling a little grumpy, I guess, about that this morning. So anyway, this asteroid, and I do want to, with pen and ink, I want to show you this word asteroid and some of these this name right here, 215 TB145. Look at that. This size of this is an agent number, and it's the opposite of 7-4. And we've seen this 7-4 recently a lot with Oregon, Lucifer, also the Reynolds shooting. 74 is basically in everything. Lunar distance is a 16, which is a P, which is Phi, because if you twirl the P, it looks exactly like the headdress of Nefertiti. She has a cursive Phi on her forehead, which basically means she's able to see destiny, something like that. This is an anagram of 1013, or this is kind of a gateway number anagram with a trinity next to it. And anyway, let's look at this one. 22. Simple gematria, this is a 22. It's a 20 and a 2 here. And the 22 is the number of the ham, so they're talking about the lowest level of the slave. This is an 8 over here, and this is, it's a 10. I was going to say it's a 9 and a 1, but, so this could be Ra if it was a 9 and a 1. In the menorah gematria, this is a 7, and this is a 2. So that is 72. That's the amount of years for the zodiac, for the sun to move 1 degree through the zodiac. It's a very sacred number. There's a whole chapters written on that book. Chapters written on that sacred number, 72. Well, there's a lot to see on this page. I didn't want to make a long video, but I do want to address this whole concept of asteroids, and I will look at the headlines. Say, let me bring this. Okay, so here we are. Let me show you where we are, the Telegraph. So it says, they explain why I guess I didn't know this, they've known its size for a long time, but they didn't know that it was coming close. And they explain this by saying, the asteroid is on an extremely eccentric and high inclination orbit. We won't be able to see the asteroid with the naked eye, but anyone with access to a telescope will be able to see it. So a high inclination orbit means it goes above the ecliptic, I think. That's what it means. I wanted to show you the gematria of asteroid because it matches a lot of, we've been seeing this 33 and this 9, and this 9 and the 3, again, mostly I've been talking about this as a Hoover Dam associations. I think we probably need to broaden the menu on that. In the Jewish gematria, it equals all of these things, including the dollar bill, Nikola Tesla. I think this is probably a major connection right here. Interesting that he has the 111. So I'm amazed. I'm gonna have to write that down. So in the simple in the English, it equals spirit, phoenix, future, darkness, liberty, tattoo, prism. We've seen these recently. Pakistan, Holy Land, Stargate, Hebrew Bible, Lion King, Roman Eagle, Chicago Cubs, Potus. So when I put this in, of course, we just get a variation on the 22, which I already told you this is the name of the asteroid. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in the letters of the simple gematria here. I'm going to put an A, a D, and an E here, and I'll put in letters for these numbers as well. I'll put a T, 1, and an E to see what we can learn. Okay, so this is what it looks like before. See, that's what I'm going to put in there. But first of all, since 22 is so common, let's just take a look and make sure we oh yeah, we've done this a bunch of times. So in the simple and the English gematria, it may or may not equal father, calendar, star, or Facebook, Jade Helm. Facebook's also in the news. Zodiac, science, Albert. And in the Jewish gematria, it equals Hermes, Sophia, infinite, stable. I just did a decode on this word. I didn't realize how important this word is. There are 81 stable atoms in our creation. It makes this word much more important than I'd ever realized it was before. Okay, so here's what I put in. The asteroid is set to narrowly miss Earth, and I just, as a side note, they're claiming this is a photo. It must be a photo of a painting, I guess. All right, here, the asteroid is set to narrowly miss Earth. It matches the force will be with you in Jewish gematria, and I'll show you the other things that match it. All right, well, the number is too big. It's just sentences down there. So what I'm going to do is take this and put this back in, and then we'll look at that. Well, I think this is a number I haven't looked up before. I haven't seen these associations before. The one that I thought mattered here is the Great Deception down here. Oh, Great Deception. Probably pure faith too. All right, so just putting the whole headline in. Let me show you. This is a 123 number that we saw in the Roseburg, Oregon shooting. I would be interested to see how many more asteroid tie-ins there are with those headlines as well. I think that's that would be a good thing to check out. Here again, we have another 33 cluster of numbers up there. But the new tie-in to this number, the 123 number, is 81. The reciprocal of 81 being 0.01234569, and then repeating after that. So because 81 is a very important number, being the number of stable elements that we have in creation, and it's also a 9 times 9, and we saw plenty of 9 9s, they're really in everything, but especially in the Pope visit, there were lots of 999s and 123s and 321s. And on the 266th episode of Simpsons, there were lots of 99s and 123s and 321s. And I looked at that, and I didn't make too many videos. Yeah, I think I made one video maybe on that, and I wanted to do more, but I started to question how important it was. And yeah, if you just believe me that there's 123s and 321s in that episode, and also fire and dismembered digits and chaos with cars. I don't know what it all means, but you could see this as a 9 right here as well, or 2 9s. So So these are the associations of Halloween. I put Halloween in there. So this is the simple and the English gematria for Halloween, and the association is Sirius, Hussein. I think Barack Obama said this through a microphone. I think he did. And this is, of course, Barack Obama's one of his chants, "Yes, we can," and this is the elect number here. Well, the interesting connection between Barack and Halloween, according to Casey at Under the Stars, is, and I haven't really checked this on my own, is that Barack Obama's birthday of 8/4, which it ties into so many things, but especially Akhenaten, the pharaoh that he looks just like, his birthday is 88 days before Halloween. And there has been some strange behavior at the White House around Halloween that ties into the Georgia Guidestones. So this might be a really good lead-in to Halloween. Let's just take a look here to make sure that we are going to catch things when they come, because we have taken a look at these associations. So Einstein, Jim Jones, Nightmare, Neverland. Neverland equals Peter Pan. Peter Pan is also in this lineup. Baltimore, Promise, Brainwave, Martyr. This is an important number because many sacrifices are having to do actually with being a martyr. Sorry, Discover, Absolute. I told you about Peter Pan, Spouse, European, It Is Done. That's a little spooky. Pentagram, Tuesday, Pregnant Pineal Gland is so important. The Pope has this on the end of his staff. That's how important this is. Kundalini, Scorpio, Son of God, Neptune. So we have, in the White House, I don't know if you've ever watched any concerts in the White House, they have concerts, house concerts. On their back wall of their concert room is just filled with tridents. So that's kind of a see it to believe it sort of thing. Anyway, it looks like this is an important code to be aware of. So in the Jewish gematria, Halloween equals 1049, which has the way in it. And I would assume this is the dark way. But let's look at the Jewish gematria equals twin, twin towers, and basically it seems like our society is obsessed with twins, twins and doubles. So there aren't as many associations here, but it's worth taking a note of these associations. Okay, so here's the the video of where asteroids have hit the Earth since 2001. I want to point out that this, I believe, is a pi symbol with a crescent. The New York Times also has this sign. They also have a little, another little staff in here to make sure that you understand that it's pi. Something to know. B6, 1, 2 foundation. So that's a 9, and this is a 2. So that's the 29 for me is the compact form of 9/11.
Nuclear test.
All right, I guess we can't watch that whole thing. Well, anyway, you can come and see this here. You can if you put this into a search engine, if you put the NASA predicts near miss, it'll bring you to this page, or you can come to telegraph.co.uk/news. I will try to put a link here in the description. I'm going to save this right now and put that in there. And then I did want to take a look. Oh my gosh, there's crazy things over here. But over here it says there's a pill that will double your IQ. And my comment on that is if you get rid of your parasites and your fluoride by real lemon juice, drink it through a straw so it doesn't take your teeth apart, will pull your fluoride out. And then all you need to do is have pectin in your daily diet, eat an apple or have some pectin in your drink so that you can trap these heavy metals, because it'll also pull aluminum out. You want to trap them in your gut. If you leave them in your gut for more than 40 minutes, you reabsorb them. So that's another way to double your IQ. All right, here's the part where they talk about actual asteroid impacts. These dates would be interesting to chart between.
There were 26 reported asteroid impacts.
26.
Energy from 1 to 600 kilotons.
One thing that I want to check, this is on a different topic, about I think that I think that the Dome of the Rock, I think that part of what's on the opposite side of the Earth, according to their model of the Dome of the Rock, is a very interesting point of view. I mean, a very interesting area, since we're dealing with mirrors and opposites, and I've forgotten to look at that. It's sorry, that's off topic. I just wanted to mention it.
For comparison, the nuclear bomb that destroyed Hiroshima in 1945 exploded with an energy of 15 kilotons.
So I guess it's just whether you believe that they're telling you the truth here. All right, I'm not going to play them all because I don't want to take a chance on getting a strike. So you can come here and check this out. All right, be safe out there. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.